Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector, is a collective or general reading. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. So just be aware that because it is a collective or general reading, parts of it will or will not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. I already shuffled, but I'm just going to give a quick shuffle and a couple of cuts here. And we'll begin the reading with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. So this is the underlying energy for the reading. We have the King of Swords. So the swords in general represent your mental intelligence and your mind, your thoughts, that kind of energy. The King of Swords is a professional, usually a professional that is using their words to earn their living. There's someone that knows how to cut through the bullshit and get shift done. They recognize that words can be used as weapons, and that's how they prefer to fight if they have to. They are, as I said, an intellectual, so they usually are a professional, like a lawyer, someone that speaks for a living, that kind of energy. And they really understand that talk is cheap and actions speak louder than words. So it's kind of being able to take thoughts that come forward and be able to bring them down to earth. And then we have, I'm just going to double check that this is centered properly. I've been having technical difficulties all day here on Christmas Day. And so I just wanted to double check that I have this lined up properly. So this energy is talking about being stabbed in the back and left for unalive. And so this is clearly not the best energy to be in. And the good news is it represents the end of a cycle. And it also represents, more thoughts and mental intelligence. Hi, my little kitty. Were you asleep and you woke up? Do you want to come be part of the reading? Come up here. Don't be noisy. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Sorry, my kitty's been asleep and she realized, oh no, Colette's doing a reading. I need to get there in time to make sure I'm part of it, right? Good girl. Okay, you be quiet now. Sorry about that. I haven't paid much attention to her today. It's been so busy. So this is a blessing in disguise in some ways. There's a possibility like this is a whole new beginning in a new way. And this card has been coming up a lot, and I feel like it has been coming up a lot because we're moving from 2025 into 2026, and 2025 is a 9-year cycle that's coming to, or like almost a decade of energy coming to an end, and a new cycle is beginning. That's because 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9, so 9 represents the end of a cycle, and so does this card. And then 10, which is the number on this card, represents 2 plus 2 plus 6, that's 2026, is 10, and then you can break that 10 down to a 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, and we have a new beginning. So we're not just ending the year and moving into a new year, we're ending a decade-long cycle and moving into another decade-long cycle, the beginning of one. And then we have here again, so this is to confirm that yes, this is the death of an old cycle. This energy is done. The death card represents, it looks really scary, but it very rarely represents people, someone who actually passed. This is more the energy of total change, like the end of a cycle again. And so it's just confirming this. As you can see, the sun is coming up here or going down, but it will rise again or set again. And this card also, this flag represents the light at the end of the tunnel. And today is Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas, everyone. And, if you don't celebrate Christmas, then enjoy the reading. I wanted to make sure I was here to do a daily reading for the people that maybe have lost someone. And this is their first year, without someone that in their family or that kind of energy, or you can't get where you needed to go or you're alone, whatever that is. You're not alone. There's the universe is with you, and I'm here doing a reading for you. And so this represents the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's kind of the solstice, because now that we have the solstice on the 21st, that was the shortest day and the longest night is over with, and now we're moving into the energy of longer days and shorter nights. So there's going to be more light than dark as we go along, and that's the kind of energy. And you can see here, there's someone who's older. She's turning away, and she really doesn't want the change. But these young ones here, one has a little flower in their hand, and they're trying to hand it to the Grim Reaper and say, hey, I love change. So it's that kind of energy. And we have 4 cups here. And this 4 of Cups represents a disappointing situation in love or regarding something that you love or that you love to do or be. And this person is sitting under the tree and they're clearly disappointed. The universe is handing them another cup of love and saying, here. And they're like, no, thank you. It's just going to be more of the same old shift. I've been vulnerable and I've been hurt, and I just don't want to have to go through that again. But the universe is going, come on, take the cup. Like this time it's going to be different. And this energy could be like maybe you've had 3 serious relationships and they didn't work out. It could be that you were in a serious relationship and there was 3 people involved instead of 2, that kind of energy. This could be you're with someone and it's 3 strikes and now you're done. Like you just don't want to, you just don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And you're wondering like, what was the point of this, basically? Literally. And so this energy is like you're just wanting not to be in rough emotional waters. You want some peace in your life, so you want to row off into calmer shores. And we have that, all of these swords here. This is the six of swords, and we like this is representing, again that like a mind that's not at rest. And also, this energy of other people's thoughts and actions causing you to be in this position and feel like this. And then this energy, there's 2 swords that are left standing. And so I feel that these can quite often represent like this image of the person with the young child is kind of like about, there's no baggage here. You've been conferring with God. And you want to move on to clear, more calm waters. And this is sometimes representing having to go back and reparent yourself to be able to, heal your inner child so that you can accept this cup of love. And so it's healing energy. And then we have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is like, she's one of the 4 queens in the Minor Arcana in the Tarot. And she's sitting on her throne, and she's considered to be like very sexy and natural beauty. She loves creative solutions. She uses her logic and her intuition to get shift done. She's really an active person and very optimistic. She has the sunflower here representing, she follows the cycles of the sun, and the sun represents God. So she's spiritually and physically together. Using, and her wand here represents action, and the action is like this wand is made of wood, so it represents the wood comes from the tree, and the tree has deep roots that represents ancestors, and then also the offshoots represent descendants. So this energy, she's just known for having a sunny disposition and looking at the bright side of life. She's got a little black cat here, which kind of is representative of the fact that, a lot of people would be like, oh, I'm not going to have a black cat. They're bad luck. And she's like, I don't believe in bad luck. And Stella says, goodness. She's so sweet, my cat. She's half asleep here, but she makes me laugh. I thought she was sound asleep, and she just came running as soon as I started the reading. She loves being in the energy of the readings. You're so sweet, Stella. So this is the Chariot rushing in, and the Chariot is regarding like you're on your path to destiny. So this is about moving forward on your destined path. This is representing clearing karma a lot of the time. And the energy is there's no rains here because God's in charge. The universe is in charge. So it's kind of saying, hey, surrender your concerns about your love life or whatever it is that you ended up in this position. Could have been something that you love or someone that you love. It doesn't have to be, a romantic love life like type thing, although quite often it is. And so the chariot represents forward movement, and you're moving towards your destined path. You're on your path. That's why you don't need reins. You can just kind of, trust. If you can't trust in yourself, have faith in your journey with that you were put on this earth, and you're loved, and you're on your journey. And then we have here the Five of Swords. So this energy is talking about several things it can be. The Five of Swords can represent like these two swords here. It feels like, again, this could be about love and two different ways of thinking. But there's also, this person clearly has been in a battle or two. And this is talking about that when challenges arise in our life and we have to apply ourselves to them, it raises our vibration of ourselves and we become a more, a better version of ourselves. And then again, a better version of ourselves. And he's standing there and he will fight for what, to stay on his path and to have what he came on the earth to do. But it's not like he's looking for a fight. It's more like protecting. And so this energy, like there's a lot of, the sword energy is sometimes overthinking a lot of things, and really being in that mindset. It also, though, can represent the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind, and those coming together so that you're able to have this that you want. And if that is a relationship with two people that think alike, not so much think alike, but have the same values, that kind of energy. And so I'm making a pyramid here, and this is the bottom line. This is the tools that you have right now to work with. So you have a king here, you have a queen here. Just recognize also that the cards of the tarot are archetypes. And so the king could actually be a man in his masculine energy or a female in her masculine energy. And the queen could be a female in her feminine energy or a man in their feminine energy. And we have the Hierophant. And so that is saying, yes, this is a blessing in disguise. The hand here is in the form of a blessing of disguise, and the Hierophant is also. And so this energy is talking about, justice, bringing judgment and justice down from the spiritual realm into the physical. So the Hierophant also talks about like bringing that energy down like into the physical body. And really the message that I'm really picking up here is a lot of people think that they are a human with a soul, but you're actually a soul that's traveling in a human body. And the human body is your temple. This is, where your soul lives. And this is the vehicle to be able to move forward in life. And so it's understanding that your soul also like we have a subconscious mind, which is formed, and we're imprinted very heavily with that when between the ages of being born and 6 or 7. And that is talking about, most of us don't remember what happened to us at that age. So we have to rely on the people that were in charge of our care. And they'll tell us what they think we were like, but they don't really know like we do what we were feeling. And then the unconscious is those spiritual matters, bringing that down to earth. The soul needs to be satisfied on the journey. And quite often, like if we have pain in our body or something happens with our body, it's because our soul is yelling at us, like, help, like do something for me too, that kind of energy. And then we have the conscious mind, the one that he has his hand on, of what he consciously wants. So this is really interesting. It's confirming, though, that this ending is a blessing in disguise, and there's going to be a whole new world coming. And these cards are coming up a lot in my readings, and it really is because we're moving into 2026, and it is going to be a lot different energy than what we had in the last decade. And then we have illusions. The moon is about illusions. And when we're on our path, on our journey, the Fool starts off in as the first card in the deck. And it represents someone starting a cycle. So when we're on this cycle, there's going to be illusions that come up. They might be self-made, like coming from within, and they might be coming from without. This is representing the emotional waters, like of, the rough water here, and climbing. It's right on this card. So it's climbing out of that water. And even though this is a lobster. And can you imagine, it's got to go all this way on land to get on its path. So it's talking about sometimes you're going to have to be vulnerable. It's going to have to pass through this dog and this wolf that are howling at the moon. And this represents your domestic and your wild side. So this is like having that balance between the two and being able to move forward and staying within these two pillars, like, and not getting caught up in the illusion and heading off, in the wrong, on a sideways or backwards direction. And we do have the influence there of the full moon, which is on January 3rd in Cancer. And that's going to be a very emotional moon because Cancer is ruled by the moon. And a lot of people are even starting to feel it already. It's not uncommon to feel that pull of the moon on the full moon, like 3 days before or after. I do plan to do a reading if I have time for everybody for each sign. So you can watch out for that. If I have time, I will do it. And because this moon just keeps coming up. This one, I feel like it's going to kind of embody this energy of moving into the new, and it'll be quite emotional for a lot of people. And then we have especially for the Cancer and Scorpio and Pisces signs, because their element is water, and the Cancer energy is the most youthful form of that, and it is ruled by the moon. So that's really, it's going to be emotional for a lot of people, and that's just the full moon generally is anyway, but I have a feeling it might be a little bit more extreme. Then we have the Five of Wands coming in. So this is sitting on like wanting calmer instead of, the rough shores. And this is representing that adolescent energy that I was just talking about. Like adolescent girls that are just starting their cycle. That's the Cancer energy. That's the stage of life that Cancer's in. And that energy is very volatile emotionally. And sometimes there can be competition involved. And the competition's immature. People just haven't matured enough. And you don't have to be an adolescent girl. An adolescent girl could be more mature than, a 70-year-old person, right? But this is talking about having an immature attitude about competition. Because fundamentally, when, we mature, we start to realize that even if we're competing against another team, or other people for a job or whatever, we're really not competing with them. We're competing with ourselves to be the best version that we can be so that we, perform above, right? And of course you have to rely on your teammates, etc. But if you do your own best, that's going to contribute to the team. And so this is the energy of the narcissistic cheerleaders who will do anything to win. And if they don't succeed, then their mothers will do something to make them win. It's that kind of energy. And we see that a lot these days with helicopter parenting. Everybody has to win, You're not allowed, your child can't learn how to lose because that would be too hard on them, that kind of energy. And, it's a life skill to learn that sometimes there's people that are better equipped at that time to receive the prize than you are. And maybe they've worked a little bit harder for it, that kind of energy. So we have the Ten of Pentacles here. And the Ten of Pentacles is, again, the pentacle represents health, wealth, happiness, abundance on the physical plane. And one of those forms is money. So it's raining money. And this is talking about, the ultimate fulfillment in the 3D. And so there you've got the mansion in the background, the beautiful neighborhood, time to stop and chat with the neighbors, pets, children running, that kind of energy. So this is talking like basically the all-American dream. And this is the energy so that you're working towards. This is what you have, the tools you have. This is the obstacles that you're going to come up against and how are you going to deal with it. And then we have the King of Pentacles. There's a lot of money involved here. So this could indicate that you've been really working on something for quite some time now, maybe for the last decade. And it's about to come into fruition. The King of Pentacles is highly admired for their business acumen. They generally are like someone that's, in the financial industry, like financial advisor, life insurance salesperson, that kind of energy. Someone that empowers others to retire, a CEO of a company. This could represent an entrepreneur, that has to, be in charge of their own company and responsible for the finances of it, that accountants, that kind of energy. And they don't have to be that, but quite often they are, because it's that pentacle energy. And so with the two of them together here, if you haven't been in this energy, it's saying there's a lot of potential to be in this energy. And it could be that there was some sort of financial issue here, that because we've got like this stabbed in the back energy, and it's a lot, and it's 10 pentacles and it's 10 swords, that's the energy. And this is the king is in charge of this money, or the king's in charge of this money. So this may not be your money, but there's a king in charge of the money, and maybe somehow you didn't receive some money that you were supposed to receive, or something like that. Just, take it how, this is a general reading. And so then we have victory. So this is talking about, Six of Wands is talking about you're ready to be a leader and you're ready to go in a leadership role. And because you have learned how to rein in your emotions and, rein in the thoughts of your mind and be optimistic like the Queen of Wands, using your intuition and your logic to come to, a lot of, to come to creative solutions for problems. You are now, like, a lot of people are okay and they're willing to follow with you because they recognize that, you've proven to people that you are a leader and that you do have an understanding of what to do. And then we have, and look at this is all this forward movement. This energy, we have the Queen of Swords here now. And I feel like because it's sitting on this disappointment and this death, like this change of a cycle energy here, I feel like the Queen of Swords quite often represents, she can be appear to be the most cold of all the queens, because she's been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. She's been disappointed. She has been, in some immature competition, and it's had this effect on her money. And she has been stabbed in the back. Quite often there's a lot of gossip around the Queen of Swords, but it's not her who's gossiping, it's people gossiping about her. And she is willing to receive, but she's saying, hey, you better come in straight with me, because I will, stop the bullshit. If you're going to come to me, you need to be in your integrity, and otherwise, off with your head. That's the kind of energy. She doesn't have much patience anymore for any bullshit. And she has her head above the clouds. So that's representing this energy, like getting clarity and, and this energy, like whatever happened here, she's clear on what happened, and she's become victorious over it. That's the energy. Okay, so then the devil comes in here. So the devil's sitting on the competition, an illusion, and then wanting to go off, the disappointment. And okay, so this is talking then about wanting to move off to calmer waters with God, because there was some energy here, and it's coming from the competition in some sort of illusion that the Queen of Swords is now aware of. And she's like, okay, give me what's mine. Like, she's pissed off, really, is what's coming up. And the energy of the devil is, there's these two people, and they're very similar to the Lover's card, but they're now shackled chained to each other and this box of Saturn. And so this energy is temptation, and well, I think everybody understands like the devil's temptation, and doing things not in a godly way, the opposite actually. And when the devil comes up, I always cover it because with another card, because you're not going to get the truth from the devil. So we'll see what card is covered. Devil always sends in a minion to do their dirty work for them, because they're not a real person. This is an archetype just like the others. And keep in mind, this can also be a man the queen could be a man in his feminine energy in this place. So what did the devil do? What was the point here? The devil sent in a minion to be playing with these coin or this abundance and create an illusion around it. And there was some competition that used dirty means to do this. So this is about giving and taking of pentacles. And pentacles, money is one form of that. And so here we have that energy here. So this could be, the queen could have been married to the king of pentacles. It could be that energy. And maybe this is the most likely to be divorced of all the queens, is the Queen of Swords, because she's independent. On the swords cards, on the ones that are face cards, there's these little birds in the background, and there's flocks on some, but there's only one here, and that represents that she's is an individual and very independent. So she's got her hand reached out because she feels that she's looking straight here, that somebody gave money away that was hers, basically. And this is talking about the scales of justice. And so this person, you'll notice, is not receiving anything because they've already got money in their pocket. And this one is receiving money because this person has the discernment to be able to know when, like who really needs, and recognize that this is time and energy, not just coin. And so there was some give and take here with this 10 of Pentacles. And this king energy that was not correct is the energy that's coming up. And then we have, there's a soulmate energy here. Now, the soulmate is sitting on the illusion and a whole new world and the Queen of Wands. So this sometimes can represent your masculine and feminine energies coming together to be really equal, so that you have this energy of being, where you have the clarity of your next steps. But it also can represent an actual divine partner that is going to be sent to you if they're not there already. And that, this is like a form of romantic love quite often. And this is sitting right on the Queen of Wands. So we've got the Queen of Wands and we have the Queen of Swords. So this could talk about, this could be the same person embodying the passion of the Queen of Wands, and also the clarity, or maybe she was more in this energy, and now she's, because of what happened here, she's now in this energy. Take it how, it works, like for you. And remember, this could be a he, just so to complicate matters even more. And then, there we have it. The Three of Cups here. So this energy here is talking about there's 3 people instead of 2. That was a big part of the problem. So there was someone was cheating or something in the marriage. There was a third party, and it didn't have to be a marriage. It could be a relationship. It was some form of commitment in love, and this energy is talking. It could be that you thought this was a soulmate, that kind of energy, or it could be this other person thought this person was their soulmate. Okay, your partner thought, hey, this is my soulmate, so I'm going to go off with them instead, kind of energy. So this card, it looks like there's a celebration, and there is, but the celebration, none of them are looking at each other. So they're not celebrating something together. they're celebrating something that has happened or is about to happen or that they want to happen. And the thing about this card that bothers me is that they're not looking at each other while they're toasting. Look at these two. They're looking each other in the eye and they're toasting. They're committed to each other, like doing what's best for each other. Whereas here, they're not looking at anyone, but they're looking at the cup. So the actual activity or whatever it is that they are toasting. And whatever that was seemed to have not been the best thing. Like it was very disappointing for you. So take it however that works for you. And then we have, yeah, like a lot of choice there. So this could be someone that, you know, maybe you felt like you were in a committed relationship, but they didn't feel they were in a committed relationship. That kind of energy. Because like you were in this world and they were in this world, you know what I mean? And so this could like, because this is, this card, it represents a lot of choices. A gift, like there's a gift in every cup. But if this represents people and you're thinking you're here in as a couple, but there's like 7 other choices out there, you know? And in a lot of European countries, if you don't look at each other when you're toasting, it causes 7 years bad luck in your love life. Yikes. So I think that's pretty clear. That's funny. I've never had it come up like that before. And then this is, I mean, it's not funny it happened to you or whatever, but it's just funny how the cards came up. So yes, and then look at this. This person is looking at these 6 pentacles that they worked so hard for, and they're going like, what the hell happened to my money? Like I put all this work in and this is what I have left. That's not, you know, that's not right. There's something not right here. And they're wondering like, okay, where is all this money going? Well, if there's 7 other choices, you know where it's going. Like dating isn't cheap. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So see, this is okay, like, should I focus on this relationship, on this, what I was working on? And you've put, you know, this is enough, quite a bit of work. Or should I focus on going after this new pentacle here? And even when I put these cards down, there's just 1 pentacle showing, you know? So it's kind of talking about, yeah, I think I'll go for this and walk away from the old. Because the Queen of Pentacles is, and like, so now that's the 3rd queen we have here. And I really feel, well, there's 7 choices here, so it could be that. There could be, you know, this individual must be, you know, maybe it's the Hierophant, you know, or maybe it's the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles can afford to have 7 other partners, you know, and he can afford the expensive tastes of them because these are queens, right? This isn't like, so yeah, you would have to be a King of Pentacles with a lot of money to be able to accomplish this. It's really interesting because we've got 3 queens here. I mean, we have some other characters here, so they're not all queens maybe, but you know, that's a distinct possibility. Or it can represent someone who, as they live and learn, they are embodying different qualities of the queen, because the more you experience, you know, going through battles isn't pleasant, but usually you come out of it and you've learned something from it. And if you apply that to your life, then you don't have to learn it again, right? That kind of energy. And so the Queen of Pentacles, she's focused on the pentacle also. So this could represent someone new coming into your life, and this is who you've chosen now. This could represent, because the Queen of Pentacles is known for, like, she understands the value of $1, and this represents old money, and this represents old money, and this represents old money. Like, this is generational wealth. This is a lot of money. It's not a little bit of money. And so this energy is, you know, she understands the value of $1. She can, and she's well known for being very resourceful. So she can take 1 pentacle and she can turn it into this, just, you know, by being on top of things, kind of that kind of energy. And so she's studying this pentacle and deciding, you know, should I, you know, that's the energy I feel. So whether she's, with one of these choices, or she's you, or it's separate, or you're one of these choices, whatever, just take it how. But like that 7 years bad luck. And then we have the King of Cups coming in. So the King of Cups is sitting on their throne, and they're in the emotionally rough waters, and they are holding a cup of love here. They're the most emotionally available of all the kings. And that's them sitting out on this slab here in the middle of all this emotional waters, totally calm, ready to move when the time is right. That kind of energy is talking about like that's the King of Cups energy. The thing about the King of Cups, they're the most, emotionally available for love. But having said that, if you betray a King of Cups, they're the most likely to hold a grudge, and really hold a grudge. Like they do not go for being betrayed. So if this energy was the Queen of Pentacles and it was the King of Cups with her, or this is the King of Pentacles and her were together and then this happened, this could be a very, like, in a place where this person now is like, they want their money, they want their time, they want everything back. They're pissed off. Just like the Queen here of Swords is. Really different energy. But then we have the Empress coming out. So the Empress is clarifying for us now that this probably is, these three queens are probably one person, and the lessons that they've learned, and they've embodied those lessons as they go. They are, they could be really optimistic and use their intuition and like just be really have a sunny disposition, and that's how they began. And then they became cold because of what happened, and they want clarity, and they don't want bullshit. They are just like done. And then, this energy, when these queens all come, the Queen of Pentacles being able to understand the value of $1 and preferring quality over quantity, this, the Empress is all four queens rolled into one. So the only one that's not here then is the Queen of Cups, right? Yeah. I just had done another reading and we had the Queen of Cups, and so I had to just double check here. Yeah. So this person has now learned so much that they're the Empress. So you could be the Empress in this case. And remember, this is the energy also of a male that's in their feminine energy, like wanting this love. And this energy also is saying, like, she's the generator. So she has a natural ability to be able to command, manifestation. The thing about her is some people feel she's pregnant, and this is a sign that there's a pregnancy, or she's pregnant with possibilities, maybe from all these cups coming in, that kind of energy. And so we have what you have to work with, the obstacles, the courage to go after it, your heart's desires, which makes sense then. And so this now, if you started out and you were just one queen and now you're an Empress, then, you're going to know a lot more about love and be in a position to be like, have like that ultimate happiness that the cups represent. And maybe that's the gift, right? The disappointment was a blessing in disguise, because now you've learned so much that now you're ready to really go after your heart's desires when it comes to love. And this has required being like in the Hangman position. So this is requiring being in balance, like, see that? Balancing the scales, knowing when to give, when to take, how much to give, how much to take, of your time, your energy, your money, like whatever that is, all of those combined to have that ultimate abundance and that happiness, And so the Hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge, and he's hanging there upside down so that he can gain some perspective on what's happened. And when he has enlightenment, he'll come down from the tree and he'll, put some new energy into action. It makes total sense here. And then we have, yes, the Ace of Swords. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. So I feel like this energy is talking about that you're ready for if you weren't ready before for your perfect divine partner, you are now, because you're more divine yourself. And if you would have stayed with someone at this level, you would have ended up being stuck there at that level because you're married, like, you know, you're entrenched in it more. Whereas now you can move forward in the Empress energy, and then you're going to attract someone that is, you know, matches that energy. That's awesome. And then we have, yeah, the energy of, in the past, I'm getting when this disappointing in the illusion and needing to go to calmer waters. I feel like this is talking about that you were so focused on the way it's supposed to be rather than the way it was. Like it's either this or it's that kind of energy. And if I do that, then this will happen. And if I do this, then that will happen. And if I have that, what if I want this instead? And if I have this, what if I want that instead? It's kind of that energy, wishy-washy, and really overthinking everything. And we have the new moon there. So this is the only the only solution here is to go inward so that you aren't wasting your energy, because the way she's sitting here, her feet are turned out and she's leaking energy, and it's exhausting, like, to be in that energy. And that's why, you know, this energy is coming in, like all that work for what, one pentacle? Like, really? You know, kind of that energy. And then we have, whoops, that's from the bottom. We have fulfillment. Wow. So yeah, this is saying that you're not in this energy of this or that now. You're in this energy of the Empress. Woohoo! Because this is ultimate fulfillment. Like, this is the beginning stages of it anyway. And this is like the marriage card, and this is the conception card. This is about ready to have a family, you know, being in that energy and being ready for commitment and being in this energy where you're at the top of your game, and the person you attract is going to have to also be at the top of their game. That kind of energy. Really cool. And this is also talking about the 1111 portal, or the 111 portal. And it's, you'll know if you've crossed into it. This is that, it's the same energy when you're the fool on your journey. You can't give in to the illusions. You have to get through those two pillars here. You know, there's two here. And you have, like, and also with the Hierophant, you know, like, you have to go through the portal. Like, you can't just hang back and not put the effort or the energy into it. And so this energy is talking about having that fulfillment that you want. And the 1111 portal, you know when you've been through it, because you'll start seeing 1111 on the clock, or 111 on the clock, or you'll see it on license plates, 1111 or 111, addresses of houses. Like, you'll look at what, you know, what does something cost? $111, like that kind of energy. And what it's saying is when that's the universe's way of communicating through synchronicity. And it's saying, be very careful of your thoughts, because your thoughts are very powerful. And it's not about this or that. It's about, you know, having that ability to really, it's saying, make sure you're thinking about what you want, not what you don't want, because you're manifesting at this time. You're an Empress now. And so you can manifest at a very high rate. Make sure that you're focused on what you want. And then we have at the top here, the wounded warrior no more kind of energy. Yeah, it's like, I just feel like this energy is like, you know, the same here, like she's taken off the blindfold now. And it's like, okay, it's safe to take action. You've been through this. And now, and this is the 9. And this card's been coming up a lot. It's kind of like the energy for the last decade in 2025, 2 + 2 + 5 = 9, end of a cycle. This is confirming you're leaning on this new wand now. And when we move into 2026, the energy is going to be very different. Starting from the bottom here, we have, like, you know, stabbed in the back and left for unalive, but it's a blessing in disguise. That's confirmed by the Hierophant. And there's a lot of money involved, but you've had victory because you were able to rein your emotions in, like the King of Cups. So that also means you need to, maybe you were able to do that except for when it came to your love life. But because you've learned that, you are now in the Empress energy, ready for commitment and marriage. And this energy is going to be very different from 2025. It's the end of that cycle. And it's, you know, about now understanding that it's not this or that. There's many opportunities available here. Like, it's, if you stay in your truth, and you all of these opportunities are here, and you will know when someone is authentically on, you know, toasting you, or if they're roasting you. And then the Hierophant, you can learn from other people's mistakes too. You don't have to just learn from your own. But that's the form of justice, is if we learn from our mistakes, then, you know, it raises our vibration and we become a better version of ourselves every time. Yeah, and this energy here with the King of Swords is like very clearly cutting through the bullshit, you know, just like the Queen. So that kind of energy, you know, it's a lot of what has been coming up. This is Christmas Day that I'm doing this. And I feel like it's also saying, like, your mind is a gift. Use it. Discipline it. You know, make sure that you use your mind in a strong way. When you discipline your mind, it gives you freedom to move past illusion. I'm going to, if you're enjoying this reading, please do like and comment, as it really empowers me to build my channel. I would really appreciate it. And whoops, oh, this is the card that wants to come out. It just flew out. So I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards. I started this oracle in 2007, and in 2020 I completed the 64th painting. And it's called Tales from the Vector, and I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, TAILS, and I have a gallery there. The numbers on these cards that I'm using are represent the numbers in the gallery, and I will have down in the description box below the order they come up. So if you want to go there and check it out after. Okay, come on, love, come up. Did you have a good little meal there? Okay, so yeah, so you can check it out. If you're interested, it's talesfromthevector.com, TAILS. And so the card that popped out here is the Death card. So again, this is reconfirming this, blessing in disguise, and the end of a cycle. This very rarely actually means there was an actual death. It's more like a death and a rebirth. So it's the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new. I think at least half and half, more than half of my readings in the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks have been, these cards have shown up in one form or another. And then we have the Gemini energy. So yes, this is about being able to communicate and learn. You know, and like I said, you don't have to learn from just your, you know, what happens in your life. You can learn from others' mistakes. And if you learn from them, then they're not mistakes, they're missteps kind of energy. And so you can't, you're not, you know, anytime we do anything new, it's going to be like going to kindergarten. You know, if you consider the world a big school, we're like learning how to use our logic and our intuition together to have really strong communication skills is going to empower us. And that Gemini energy, we did have a full moon in December on the 4th, and it was a super moon, and it was a great time to release. And I feel like this is saying it's number 31. I haven't noticed that before, but this card has been coming up because I feel like it was representing the full moon, the energy from December 4th. If you get in touch with that energy at the end of the year on December 31st, that whatever you released is really going to be released, I feel. Like, so keep working on it till then. If there's anything you want to release, release it. And then we have, yeah, the Hierophant, the disappointment, recognizing that sometimes it's a blessing in disguise when you don't get what you want, because you wouldn't want it when you get older, you know, like the timing isn't right, or something is just, you know, it's not going to suit you a few years from now kind of energy. And then we have Pisces. And so this is having the authority over yourself. Pisces is like the last water sign. So this energy is talking about, you know, having authority over your emotions and learning how to do that. And it's about sink or swim energy. Because Pisces energy, in 2020, we moved out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius around that time. And it's a really long cycle. It's like almost 1700 years. And so we're just babies right now. We're in kindergarten learning about the new energy in the age of Aquarius. The Pisces energy is water, like it's two fish tied together at the tail, swimming in opposite directions. And the age of Aquarius is like the element is air, and it's about intellectual and experimenting and observing. Okay, this happened, this or that, more energy, but in a different way, because it's saying it doesn't have to be this or that. It's about, okay, I'm going to try this, and oh, that happened. So I observe the result of my experiment, and then I do it a slightly different way because I learned from it. And that's the new energy of moving into the age of Aquarius. And I feel like we're really going to start noticing it because we're moving into that number one cycle in 2026. And then it comes out right there. I love that. So this is like, yeah, you're going to be a superstar in 26 if you just embrace this energy and, recognize, hey, they're not really mistakes, they're missteps, that kind of energy. And then we have the Cancer full moon coming up on the 3rd of January. And so this energy is going to be very emotional because this is the stage of life is adolescence. Girls, like this kind of energy, haven't learned yet that you're really in competition with yourself. And so this is about being engaged in your emotions and enjoying them or not enjoying them, but being able to get in touch with them or being entrenched in them and them taking control over your life rather than you taking, allowing your emotions to be really undisciplined, that kind of energy, up and down. And just also recognizing that moon in Cancer is going to probably be very emotional, in particular for people who are are born in the time of Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, because those are the water signs. So they'll feel it more than probably most. When I bring these zodiac signs into a reading that's a general one like this, I'm not looking at these as individual people, although you may, say, oh, I know, like this happened and it was a Gemini, and that happened and it was a Pisces or whatever. That could be very true, but that's not my focus here. My focus is more the state of being of that sign and the stage of life. And it's not an age, it's the stage of life. Like you could be a very immature 70-year-old, and a very mature 10-year-old kind of energy. And so the energy then coming in is temptation from the devil. And, that's the second time it's come up. So it's saying that again, that something happened here in the past. And it was about sensuality, and it has affected how you feel about your love life. And now that this is again saying, like, look at this is down here in this energy. I feel it's confirming that. Let's cover it and see. Oh, you're covered by God, by the sun. I love that. Okay, so we don't even have, like, that's the energy right there. What this is saying, that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. That you're an Empress energy now. You're ready for this commitment and fulfillment. You're done with wounded warrior energy. You've learned all the lessons you need to, and some of them it looks like you really learned the hard way, And then we have 22, the shooting star. So this is about having a strong attitude. Attitude is all that. This speaks to being able to use the tools that you have. Your base chakra is your survival. So it's kind of like, what do you have to deal with now? And then using what you have as wisely as you can and learning from it so that you raise the vibration of your energy and therefore attract that energy back. And we have the Strength card. So this requires courage. Like you have to have courage to be able to face, your own self and to face what's happened, the actions of yourself and others, being more mature about it, being in your integrity. And then we have the karmic space of indifference. So yeah, we're all in it together. We're a work in progress. Having said that, some people can be quite indifferent to others' pain and suffering. And, they're out for themselves. And you just have to be smart about that. And you have to recognize that that's a karmic space. When people get in the energy of indifference, then when you don't care what's happening in the world, it's going to affect your future in a very negative way. It may not show up right away, but you're not going to evolve to this Empress energy then. And then we have the lack of awareness. Ow, 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 ow. Sorry, my cat is wanting me to feed her right now. And she's just climbing up my body. You just wait a minute, Stella. Oh, that hurt. Sorry. She was going to climb over my shoulder. Ouch. I'm going to have to cut your nails, silly girl. Yeah, just wait 5 minutes and then I will feed you, I promise. I apologize. I've been busy all day and she's just really annoyed with me right now. Cats have staff, dogs have owners. So this lack of awareness is like, don't underestimate the power of willful ignorance. So if you don't learn from your mistakes, including in love, you're probably going to have a tendency to repeat them, and it'll cause you to have missed opportunities. And then there can also be the karmic space of being jealous. And it's really funny. You can actually be jealous of your own self, like if you had better times, and that energy is coming up because we have all this money here. And if that was, and then it dropped down to 6 from 10 pentacles, it could be like, but the energy on this is I'd rather be better than bitter. And so, it's about moving forward. If you become really bitter and you sit under that tree of disappointment and you don't accept any opportunities, then you're going to miss out on all of this, right? And so this is really about being able to have that, like, decide within yourself. I could be bitter about this for my whole life, or I could just allow myself to move forward in a stronger way and learn from it. Justice, yeah. And that also speaks to this 1111 portal. And part of that justice is just being able to learn from what's happened in the past. Quite often, rejection is God's protection. And so if you start to recognize that, then you realize, oh, okay, you look back and you go, oh, it's a lucky thing I didn't get with that person, because like I really wouldn't want that now. And at that time I did, but now I'm in a different place. So we have the star energy. So that's talking about moving forward and being your own star, like being, recognizing that, as I said, if you want to have a good future, a strong future, then you need to participate in it. You can't just expect things to fall from the sky. There's some sort of joke where someone's praying to God and saying, why didn't you give me, like, I've been praying for money and I keep asking to win the lottery. And God replies, well, buy a ticket. That kind of energy. And so the mother's worry, that's a mother load of, I feel like this card's been coming up a lot, and I feel like this is more saying about, like, a lot of people right now feel like the world is going to shift, right? And a lot of people are maybe, worried about what's it going to be like for the upcoming generations. And this is why we have a responsibility to be, think about, hey, what kind of world are we leaving our children and our grandchildren, even if you don't have them? Like, we have a responsibility to leave the world a better place when we leave, that it's a better place than when we got here. So that's kind of like having that, that's that indifference, like recognizing we all have a responsibility to make the world a better place. And that's confirmed right up there. make the world a better place. That's the that's the theme of the reading. And also, somebody wants their chicken. That's my cat. So I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I really have. I feel this is really good advice, and I like that it ends like this about, you know, recognizing that we all are stars in our own right, and that, you know, we can learn from our mistakes. We don't have to beat ourselves up over our mistakes. We can recognize that sometimes, you know, rejection is God's protection. It makes it feel a little bit easier to take. So if you are celebrating Christmas, I hope you had you know, that it's been a wonderful day. And if it's turned out to be more like Boxing Day, I'll have another read tomorrow. And you know, please do like and comment if you've enjoyed this energy and this reading, and subscribe to the channel if you resonate. It would be an honor for me if you did so. I will be back with another reading for you tomorrow, and that will be on Boxing Day. That I'm working on that one. Or sorry, this one I'm working on Christmas, yeah, but this one will come out on Boxing Day. So it's kind of appropriate. Bye for now. Okay, kitty.